Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whatever time this reach you. Today is September 20th. It's Monday. It's Motivational Monday. Let me tell you a little bit about my motivation, what motivates me. I spent 17 years of my life in prison, and I don't really brag about it. I don't really go too much into it, and I don't really like talking about it because those were 17 wasted years of my life. But let me tell you a little prison story that kind of changed me as a person on the inside. I spent several years of my life at the bloodiest 47 acres in America. If you don't know what that is, man, look it up. It's MSP, Missouri State Penitentiary, or commonly known as the Walls, because a wall surrounded the whole institution. But let's just say my introduction to prison was a whole lot different than most people. So when I get to prison, I run into several people that I had conflict with on the streets, and they tried to get me killed. But let me tell you how. So, little dude I don't rock with, we didn't rock with them on the streets, and I definitely didn't rock with them in the penitentiary. He pulled up on me and he asked me about an old head that I didn't know and I didn't deal with. I didn't really have anything bad or good to say about the man because I didn't know him. So my response was, man, I don't know dude, man, fuck dude. He turned right back around and went and told dude that I said fuck him, but he didn't give him the complete context because it was to cause conflict. So dude came and pulled up to my cell like, you know me? I'm like, man, nah, I don't know you. Oh, fuck me? Oh, well, it's fuck you. And I'm stabbing you. You gonna check in. You getting off this hill. You can't be on this hill with me. Young and dumb, retarded as I was in my youth, I was with all of that. So when it was time for rec call, COs and inmates all came to my cell like, don't go outside, man. Dude gonna be out there waiting on you and it's gonna get ugly. Man, open the bars, let me out. I'm going to the yard because that's what I'm on. So I went out to the yard and needless to say, I ran into dude. Even more needless to say, he tried to stab me. But that didn't really work out like he thought it would because I'm really like that in real life. And all of the nonsense, the negativity, and the shenanigans, I'm with all of them when I be in that mood in my life. So dude tried to stab me, and I beat him up out there. Took his knife, and I was finna put him down with it. And the old head screamed out, man, don't do it. Don't throw your life away. I end up going to the hole. I was in the hole like 6 months. I was in 5C, deep segregation, 23 and 1. It was actually 24 and none most of the time, but they kind of let us out our cells for an hour every other day or every 2 or 3 days. That 23 and 1 is a myth. I've never seen it. So I did my 6 months in the hole, and when I got out, I got called up to the upper yard by the old heads. And in my mind, I was finna die right then because of how the message came to me. They want to see you on the top yard. Oh, Lord. Well, look like I'm dying today. So when they opened the yard, I made it. I went up to the top yard to see what the old heads was talking about. And when I walked in, all of the old killers was sitting there. And they looked at me. They gave me the heads up and the heads down, the heads up and the heads down. They gave me the complete once over. And when they were finished, one of the old heads looked me square in my face and said, youngster, we gonna let you go home. In my mind, I was kind of like, what you mean you gonna let me go home? So I asked, like, what you mean by that? You gonna let me go home? He said, we gonna let you go home. We did our little research on you. We know you got 20 years. You ain't been locked up 2 or 3 years. We gonna let you go home. As long as you keep your head down and you stay out of trouble, we gonna make sure you get out of prison. And I'm like, well, what you mean by that? He said, because of the events that you had previous to coming to have this conversation, we know with beyond a shadow of a doubt that you don't have no problem staying here with us for the rest of your life. And you showed it. So with that being said, we gonna let you go home because we know you will stay here with us. But can you stay out there with your people? I spent the next 7 or 8 years just trying to digest that little piece of information. I came home. I wasn't out of prison a whole year, and the feds was looking for me. I was on my way right back to prison to do some more time. So the second time I got out of prison, I made my mother a promise that I would stay out of jail, that I would stay out of trouble, that I would stop doing the things that I am known for doing. And I've been standing on it ever since. That's my Monday motivation. I gave my mother my word. I stopped going back and forth to jail. I stopped living the street life that I am accustomed to. I stopped doing the things that I used to do on a regular basis. I would stop getting my money illegally. I would stop running the streets armed and dangerous, knowing I am a convicted felon. I would stop dealing in narcotics. I would stop running in the places that I run because they not good for me. My motivation is to stay free and show people that been through the same things that I've been through, that you can come home and enjoy your life without having to resort to any other nonsense that come with living this life. You be motivated. I'm motivated to be free. Edna Jean, I love you. Come here, mama.